Hey, it's me. Okay, so it's 10:48 in the morning, Pacific Coast time. I am at work, and
Introduce yourself.
I think everyone knows who I am if they're friends with me on Facebook. At least I would think so, Jose.
You'd be surprised.
I know. If you don't know me, I hope you do. I'm Miss Sam. Yeah. I could swear on this thing, but I won't.
What? You're in a school.
I know, I'm in a school, but I'm behind a door, which means I can swear behind a door in a school. Anyway, besides the point, I'm here today because I am going to be doing a screen replacement on a Samsung Chromebook 3. It's been a few months, actually, no, it's been about a month since I've been able to do one, and since I'm having way too much fun with Facebook Live, I'm going to actually take apart this Chromebook live on Facebook because, yeah, I'm going to just take apart this Chromebook right now. So basically, here's the Vict. Yeah, thanks, Jose. This is unscripted, sir. Anyway.
I love this. I love being the
Yeah.
who interrupts your podcast.
Yeah, I have comic relief over here in the corner. So anyway, this is a Samsung Chromebook 3. This is one of about 450 of these I have, and this one decided to have a bad day. Basically, a student decided to stick his hand in the book, and somehow it punctured the LCD screen, and it decided to basically just conk out. So this is what it looks like right now. It's not very pleasant. I'm going to turn it on, but it's going to look like absolute crap. There you go. That is not supposed to happen. Okay? That's not supposed to happen at all.
Top, the bottom,
So this is what it's supposed to look like. Here's one that actually does work. This is what it's supposed to look like. It turns right on. So that's what it's supposed to look like. That does not equate to this. So we're going to have to do a replacement. In order for me to do that, it's going to require several things. First, I have to unpower the thing, so that means I have to remove the battery out of it. And then after that, I'm going to have to pry this thing out. And then I'm going to replace it with a handy-dandy, straight from China, replacement screen. That's all going to go in. So this is how it's all going to go down. So the first thing I need to do is I need to power the sucker down. On a Chromebook, it's just like a Mac. You hold the power button on this side until it turns black and it goes toast. After that, I have to then take apart all of the screws on this side, on the sides here, and I'll just, you get to watch me unscrew a bunch of things. So here we go. So I'm just going to keep talking here while this is going on. And basically, what I'm going to do right now is just take apart this. I have a paper cup in the corner here that I use. Unfortunately, this, because of my desk being moved a bunch of times, all of my, yeah, I know. Well, it's not your fault, but I'm not going to blame more people because life's too short for that. But this is now my magnetic tip screwdriver, so since that's the case, then I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way and just hope that, none of these actually fall over. So here we go. Now, mind you, in terms of taking apart these Chromebooks, I have done this more times than I'd like to admit. But now it's actually more fun because I get to do this in front of a live studio audience. It's more fun this way. This is not a timer. I know that there's a timer on this live thing, but I'm not racing the clock in terms of taking this apart. Don't mind my coworker on the side speaking Spanish there. He deals with a lot of parents, so that's just kind of the way it is. There we go. So, with that being said, I have unscrewed all of the screws on the back cover, and then I have to use some of my little friends here, like this guy right here. And hey, Kayla, how you doing? Top of the morning to you. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just go in and just start to pry these off. You should start hearing some pops here. So I'm going to start doing this. There we go. With the assistance of my happy little pry tool, take all this off. And the rest of it should just come off like that. That is the cover. That is the back cover, which exposes this entire thing. Pop, pop, fizz, fizz. Exactly. It's partially set in with clips, and then the rest of it is screws. So that's what it sounds like. So the next part is we have this battery here. The battery has to come off because if it turns on accidentally while I'm trying to take this apart, I might short something out, and that would be no bueno because the 1-year warranty on all of these expires this month. So I'm not really in the mood of replacing any of that. So right here is the battery connect. So I'm just going to gently just kind of take my little tool here, and I could use my finger too if I felt like it, which I could, but you know, I'm just going to try to pry this little bugger out. There we go. This little guy comes off, and that's officially the battery disconnect for the Chromebook. So that comes off. So now the battery is officially disconnected. Yeah, okay, Kayla, just to clarify, I am actually doing a full screen replacement on a Chromebook. And because I have to do that, I have to unpower the whole thing, which means I also have to take apart my, I have to remove the battery so that I don't short anything out. So right now I'm at the part where I've removed the back cover of the Chromebook and I have the battery. I've just disconnected the battery. And now if you, over here, which is kind of hard to see, hopefully I can probably get my light on this bugger so that you can at least get an idea of what this looks like. You can kind of, it's like over here and over here are the screws that keep the battery in place. So now I've just got to remove those. The good news is that the battery, the screws that are used to keep the battery in place and the screws that are used to hold down the cover that I just peeled off are exactly the same size, so it really doesn't matter if I stick them back in the cup. So that's very convenient. There are 4 screws in this section here, and then the thing pops off. The size of this battery is about the size, if you're familiar with those Hershey's Symphony bars that you can get at the supermarket, about the size of a Hershey Symphony bar, but a little bit longer and a little bit shorter. So it's like more like an elongated Hershey's Symphony bar. Okay, so right now I'm going ahead here and just removing that. And take my happy pry tool because I don't like to touch as much as possible. I don't want to touch any of that stuff. That comes right off. That is the happy candy bar Samsung battery that just pops off like that. I'm going to put this aside. We'll put this back later. So with that being said, this is what's left. So just to give you a little bit of a schematic of what all this stuff is, I'll just go on the side. This right here is a speaker. Oops, yeah, it's on the other side, sorry. This right here is a speaker, this little guy right here. This right here is the actual touchpad circuitry. And if I turn this thing over, this right here is the Wi-Fi module, so you get the wireless internet because this Chromebook does not have an Ethernet port at all. And then right over here is the motherboard. So this is your motherboard. And it's a very small motherboard. I mean, it's a Chromebook, so it's not like running a Pentium processor or anything like that, or any Intel stuff. I don't even know what kind of chip this thing even. No, actually, no. I stand corrected. This is an Intel Model 1. I just don't know which chip it is. So that's what's going on there. Now, just for your entertainment, the way that a Chromebook is designed, all of that stuff is attached to the keyboard itself. So when you remove the keyboard in its entirety, you're actually removing what the motherboard and the Wi-Fi card actually attach to. This makes up 50% of the body of a Chromebook. So you don't want to mess up a keyboard on a Chromebook because you're going to be actually removing and replacing more than you expect. So in this case, now that I've removed this, I'm going to just lightly put the cover back on this Chromebook. Just snap it a little bit, just enough to cover, just in case I have any moisture or anything on this table, which I've already checked I don't. And I'm going to turn this over. Now opening this is not going to power on because I have no battery in here. Okay, and I'm going to place this thing pretty much flat on the desk using my happy tool here, and I'm going to try to inch this up a little bit, which trying not to end this conversation early. I'm just going to start peeling away. Now it's kind of hard to see here, but I'm going to start to just gently take my plastic tool here and try to pop off. Now if you hear some cracking sounds, that's actually double-sided tape. I'm not freaked out about that. Now if I do break this, which has happened on the previous generation Samsungs, because honestly they were complete crap. like the I have replacement ones for the silver colored generation 2s, which I'll pull one out later. But I'll just show you here. As you can see, I've already started separating that, and just start removing the frame little by little. So here you go. There's more of the frame being removed. And I'm going to continue here. Just going to start removing this and removing that. Just kind of doing a little bit of and this doesn't hurt the computer at all. Like I said, this is a plastic frame that is covering the circuitry that you know, the LCD screen runs off of. So this bezel, as they call it, this outer frame is called a bezel. And as you can see here, I'm just kind of popping it off. There you go. That is completely taken off. And now you can actually see the screen itself. So here's some cool stuff here. So your camera, just for fun, camera's right up here. And so your camera is right here. And that's covered by that really pretty frame. And as you can see, everything else is just, you know, frame, wiring, all that. And all of this belongs to, you know, the screen itself. So there's that. This is the exposed screen. So the next thing I need to do is actually go in and disconnect the screen from the computer itself, and then I can physically remove it. There is a ribbon. That ribbon for the screen is actually located on the underside of the keyboard again. So I'm going to go back in here, make sure that that's correct. It's been a couple days since I've done this. Actually, no, I stand corrected. It's not there. It's actually right smack dab at the bottom of the screen. So I'm going to put this cover back here. My bad. So right at the bottom, I'm going to find it first before I point it out to you guys, is that piece. All right, so actually in order to do this, I'm going to actually have to remove the screen first. All right, so here we go. On the screen, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. These are silver, not black like the first 17 or whatever I pulled off here. And these are the only ones that are keeping the screen from falling off. So that and some double sticky tape because someone decided to be nice. So here we go. I'm going to start removing removing this here. See, let's not spill my cup full of screws here. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove that. Here we go. A little bit more. There we go. A little bit more screen removal 101 here. Trying to do the best here with my laptop's keyboard because I can only tilt it up or down, so it's a little can be a little dicey here trying to get the right angle. Any one of those overhead things. So here's the 4th screw I'm taking off. By doing this, this is going to free up the entire you know, the entire system, well, the entire screen. So taking my handy dandy tool again, just to be safe, I'm going to just gently pry this off, make sure that it comes off, which doesn't require anything. All right, so I'm going to show you something here. Right here, that little guy, that is your connector, which also explains why I had to remove the screen before I could do anything to it. So this is a small ribbon that has a, let me see if I can shine some light on it so you can actually see it sort of on the screen. It's a ribbon held down by a little bracket that you push down with a lever. And so what I have to do is lift the lever up and then the ribbon just comes right off. So taking another handy dandy tool, here is my hook. You can see. I just go in, grab this thing gently and just lift up. This thing pops off. And then I can go ahead and just separate that ribbon from there, and pop goes the weasel, it's off. So that is the end of the dead screen. Okay, So now we have brand spanking new screen. So what we're going to do is make sure that this lines up correctly. Obviously, I have to flip it over. And I'm going to place it actually face down like this so that I can connect this and this again. So here we go. Just a little bit of, just it takes a little bit of finesse here once you just get the little connector there in, and once you do that and then snap the little bar that I popped off with the tool, then we're all set and I can just resecure the screen back to where it should be. So here we go. So just popping that in, boom, and then once I do that, it's just gonna go back in like this. And how do I know it's all the way in? That bar slams shut, everything is closed in, and I pretty much have a connection right there. So that's back in there, and then I'm just gonna lay this back down slowly. Now, the other thing too is that this replacement screen does have a plastic cover on it. I don't peel it off until I'm absolutely done. Now, the other thing too is that there are brackets here, but during shipping, a couple of those brackets actually kind of get bent, so I just kind of have to take my hand real quick and just kind of bend them slightly so that they actually line up with the holes. No big deal. It's just it's really thin metal that, you know, just needs a little help. So once that's done, I need to go and sort through all of these screws here and find the 4 silvers that I popped in. So go in a second here, let me go get them. And just gonna keep popping through here. I know it's, you know, 11:05 in the morning here, so don't know how many people are actually watching, but this will be available later for your review if you'd like to figure out how to take apart a Chromebook and replace its screen. This actually can also be used in some cases where, you know, you need to replace a screen on a regular Chromebook, a regular laptop, because the mechanics are probably not that far off. So right now I got one of the silver screws right there, and I'm going to just start, you know, putting this back in, and hopefully I don't get any, I have classes switching right now, so I'm really hoping I don't have any interruptions, but if I do, they'll be very quick. So here we go. So that's one. Let's see if I can get another one here on camera so you can see where I'm resecuring. Here we go. 2. Trying to get that going there. It's 2. So let's see. Yeah, there's 2. Putting that guy back in. Okay. Let's see if I can get the rest. There's 3. So hopefully no one's going to radio me for the next 5 minutes while I do this here. So putting in number 3. And here's number 4. Sticking you guys in. Boom. Alright, so right now that is the screen back where it should be. Okay. Now before I snap everything back together, what I need to do is test that it's going to fire. So I've learned the hard way that sometimes you get a DOA, dead on arrival screen, and then you're just like, are you kidding me? Now I'm not going to spend the extra time and replace the battery just yet. I am actually going to plug in my AC adapter, and then we'll see if this is going to fire. So, you know, of course, being sure that, you know, whenever something's powered like this and you have exposed circuitry, you don't want to touch anything, but it shouldn't be a problem because the only thing that's being, you know, exposed right here is the screen itself. So the plug is right on this side, so I'm just going to actually take the an AC adapter that I always have hot, because I always have to charge these things. Like, I have at least 4 of these charged. So here's the plug. Okay, I'm going to just plug in here, and if I see a white screen that says Chrome on it, I'm good, and I'm going to be fine. So let's, hey, that makes me feel good. That's the Chrome logo. That's a fresh screen. We are good. So I'm now going to unplug it as soon as I do, because there's no battery in it. It's just going to straight up die. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. It's dead. And now that I know that this works,
you're with that one, I'm with this one, right?
you know, now that that's all good, here's the frame again. I'm just going to pop it back in. This is no screws on it. It is all pressure fit. So here we go. Just kind of see where it goes. Oh, quiet you, Jose. What were you doing while I was out?
I was eating donuts.
Well, I already had my cookies. First off, before I forget, though, by the way, I'm going to remove this protective screen because there's no point in having it. And also because it's going to get overlapped by the frame. So here we go. So here we go.
Carlos Rodriguez, can you give them a call and let them know what best time they have to come on down to the school?
So you can see here where I'm just kind of,
I'll get on that.
where I'm just pushing in, and as you see, is if it fits.
Like, oh, what's the reason, or why do we need us? Just we have concerns about social media. Just let them know that.
All right. So here we go. Pop, pop, fizz, fizz. More of that, right? Here we go.
Okay, we'll do.
So just kind of popping that back in. Let's make sure I get the rest of that popped back in. There we go. That's the screen back to where it was. Boom. Yay. So that's clean and back. Now we got to put the battery back and then patch this whole thing up. So here we go. Closing that back down. Remember, I only put this on halfway. So back it goes. And remember our candy bar? Here's our candy bar back. This is going back. Pop right in. Lines up with the screws. Take this guy right here. This is our battery attachment. That just pushes right back in that little slot. Like that. Snap, snap, done. And then I just grab, 4 of the black screws, because like I said, it didn't matter which one's attached to the battery and which one's attached to the case, because they're all the same screw. And I'm just going to just place these in here and then, screw it back in. I wish the light was better in here. I know it's a little hard to see, but this is just something that I do on a daily basis. Or not a daily basis. Hopefully I don't have to do screen replacements on a daily basis, but at least I can say that I know how to service these buggers and not have to worry about, oh, my screen's broken. Okay, I have extra screens here. Let's just get this over with. So here we go. Battery, I just lined up the screws, and I'm just going to take my screwdriver here and just go boom, boom, boom. Put these eyes all back. Currently, I'm at 22 minutes on this replacement. Actually, I'm making good time considering that I've actually had to explain the entire process. So here we go. So one more screw, and one more screw here. Boom. So that's all just nice. Just want to hand tighten it. You don't have to over torque because it's going to be a pain in the butt if you make it too tight, because you might strip a bolt and strip a screw, and that would just suck. All right, so screw. This is back on. This is pushed in. So that's power. Boom. Just going to now just put this on top and wait for it to do its little clickety click. Just push it in well. Boom, boom, click, click. Yeah, there's a lot of click and pop in here. So now, here we go, a bunch of screws, and we go back. And actually, I'm just closing up shop here. I know, unfortunately, black on black doesn't help. I'm wearing a black hoodie on a black surface with a black Chromebook. It doesn't help for much contrast, but hey, hopefully you're enjoying the conversation so far, because once again, I am testing this, testing audio with the blue snowball microphone that we have here at school. And so I'm just going to start screwing these guys in here. As you can see, just nice and secure. And let's go from there. Here we go. A little bit more. Now, some of the questions I might ask is like, Christine, where did you learn how to do this? And stuff like that. Just to mention too is that I do have a lot of experience in building machines, building computers, and custom building. After a while, you start seeing patterns in taking apart laptops that, you realize how simple these things actually are. So it's not too bad of a deal. So here we go. Some more some more screwing here. I have 1, 2, 3 more screws here, so lo and behold, I spilled my cup out, and there are 3 more screws, and we are good, because last thing I need to do is lose a screw. I mean, I'm already pain in the butt to find, and I don't have my magnetic tip on my screwdriver, because that one disappeared when my desk was turned upside down because of testing, and blah, blah, blah. Long story, anyway. So, last screw, here we go. Yeah, it's like satisfying to do this, because I can figure if I'm going to be sitting here alone in my chair, you know, doing this with occasional background noise, I might as well make it interesting and at least show you how to do something. So, here we go. There's your Chromebook, nice and sealed up. And I think we have a very happy Chromebook that's going to be given back to the student at lunchtime. He's currently borrowing one of my spares, but I think we're going to be okay now, and you know he'll have his unit back. So that's a good feeling to have right there. Aside from that, you know, this is like I said, one of several things that I do here at school at my work. I've been fortunate that I've had, you know, the chance to you know, do stuff like this, but you know, since Facebook Live became a thing in the last few because of all of the weird stuff that I've dealt with my motorcycles going down and all sorts of things, you know, this has been fun. So there, what you just watched was a full-time screen replacement of a Samsung Chromebook 3, which isn't very far off from a Samsung Chromebook 2. I mean, biggest difference is Chromebook 2 is silver. So this is Miss Sam. I'm signing out, and until next time, until I find something else to take apart and put back together. Bye.